It's cool that we close because if we wasn't, then the media would definitely try to pin us against each
Yeah.
other.
Are you the type that holds a grudge forever?
Why would I be mad? These are good problems to have.
What is it like for you to have like this rivalry with Shedeur?
I don't have a rivalry with him. That's my boy.
That these two young men shouldn't be pitted against each other. Man, if it's not destiny, I don't know what it is. Shedeur Sanders gets his third official start versus his longtime training mate, and some would say really good friend Cam Ward. And you know, I could be very disingenuous about this and talk about how certain people have wins and totality with one start versus his multiple starts. But look, I'm a Cam Ward guy. I know some of y'all know me as a Shedeur guy. I'm also a Cam Ward Glazer. Now, just because I make fun of the Titans all the time, just because I'm also a Texans fan, that's my job. You feel me? Y'all stole our uniforms. Anyway, not the point. The point is, though, right? This is going to be absolutely sensational to watch these two young men face off against each other, and they have a long and historic past. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go through history, right? And I've done this so many times with Shedeur, about the lies and the this and the that, and people saying that he wasn't supposed to be a first-round pick. And look, if you don't like him as a talent, that's all good. But the facts are the facts. So we're going to go through the facts. We're going to look at the rankings from NFL, also as ESPN. They're pretty similar in a lot of different aspects, with Cam Ward seemingly getting the edge at number one, but Shedeur being a close second with a lot of different stuff. So pre-draft process, we're also going to go back to high school and check out what they looked at as prospects in high school. And then we're going to go through a little bit of memories when it comes to them training with each other and them kind of going viral. So let's start it off. So Shedeur, and again, we're gonna get a little toxic here, just a little toxic. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders after two starts. Ward had 287 yards. Sanders had 358. Ward had a 51% completion. Sanders had 60% completion. I don't know. Completion. I forgot the full attempt. Not important. What's important is more yards, right? Better completion percentage, and I believe he even threw less passes. Trust me. But anyway, I have more detailed as well. First overall pick, Cam Ward in his 12th straight start against the 8-4 Jaguars. 24-38, 141, 0 touchdowns, 3 sacks, 70 rating. 144th overall pick, Shedeur Sanders in his second start against the 9-4 Niners. 16-25, 149, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks, my fault, and a 93 rating. Now, look, we all know there wasn't a bunch of phenomenal moments with the 49ers, but again, it is only his second start. He is still a rookie. He's still getting it together. The game is starting to slow down for him, and that's what we've seen from Cam Ward, because I'm not going to let y'all slander my guy Cam Ward. Y'all not going to do it. Cam Ward is in a pretty bad situation himself, right? So we're not comparing apples to oranges. Shedeur is just getting his starts. I think both of these young quarterbacks, but wait a minute. I think they're rookies, and maybe rookies need a little time. And I got an idea of a bigger video about the problem with rookies doing good in their first year. Name me a rookie that had an amazing rookie year and went on to win Super Bowls and have a 10-year career, all that stuff. Go ahead, I'll wait. Comment it down below. Cause if you name any of them, I'm gonna show you somebody with a short career or a short prime. Not the point. Let's get into it. So Cam Ward, obviously the story, because the story of the draft was, oh my God, people aren't talking about Cam Ward. I was talking about Cam Ward. I was talking about Cam Ward in Miami. I was talking about Cam Ward when he got drafted. You feel me? I had to find an excuse to troll the Tennessee Titans fans, right? And then we go over here. Remember, the story is that, of course, he was a 0-star athlete coming out of Texas, right? 6'1", 75. Not a lot of information of him coming out of high school. He did go to Incarnate Ward. After Incarnate Ward, went to Wazoo. And after Wazoo, of course, landed in Miami. And that's where the last place he stopped before getting this combine or prospect grade. So, obviously, Cam Ward, 6'2", 219, 9-inch hands, 6.39 prospect grade, 86 with next-gen stats. Good. Round one, pick one. So his score for the combine quarterback rank, it was first. 86 total score. Athleticism score, estimated because he didn't do the combine, was a 90. Production score, 85, and which was a 2025 combine quarterback rank number 2. Okay, so then we go over to our guy Shedeur. He was a 3-star. He had offers from FAU. He had offers from Alabama and some other bigger schools, but, those are probably not going to be, starting. But FAU is actually where he was going to go with LeJontay Wester. Instead, of course, we know that Coach Prime went down to FCS and went down to HBCUs in Jackson State, and that's where he got his start, of course, and then obviously finished at Colorado. So, Dallas, Texas guy. Now, again, you're going to see some pretty similar numbers, at least not round 5, pick 6 numbers, right? A 6.3, what's it called? A 6.3 prospect grade 79 compared to Cam Ward's higher, 85, or was it 83? What was it? 86, my fault, 86, right? Production score, 87. That happens to rank the first out of all combine quarterbacks. Estimated 63 athleticism score. Again, he didn't do anything at the combine as well. And, of course, an overall 79 ranking. So let's get into the details of what this meant for both of the quarterbacks. Again, that's what NFL thought, right? And this is what ESPN thought. So I don't know if you go on ESPN, Mel Kiper is up top. But the Shedeur haters are going to say, well, Mel Kiper is the original Shedeur Glazer, so it don't count. All right, cool. So I chopped out, no excuses around here. Now, Mr. Miller says Ward took an elite jump after transferring from Wazoo. His ability to move around the pocket, dial up fastballs, and threaten as a runner makes him the biggest QB riser this season. Multiple scouts told me Ward is QB1 in the class. He assumed the top spot in my quarterback rankings thanks to his big playability, experience, and top-end arm talent. I'm not going to read all of these, obviously, because we'd be here for a while, right? We don't need to be here this long. But obviously, if I were to give you a quick prospect on Cam Ward, I say he has the arm talent to throw 97% of throws, and he has the arm arrogance that he believes he can throw 99% of the throws. He is like a bit of a throwback when it comes to being a gunslinger, and he has some very, very exciting football. But as you'll see, QB1, 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 QB1. This is Field Yates. Lots of great stuff, running around the pocket doing phenomenal things. Now, for Shedeur Sanders, with pinpoint accuracy, toughness in the pocket, and field vision that allows him to make plays to every level of the field. Sanders leveled up to become one of the top quarterbacks in this class. He turned the ball over more in 2024, but played with better pocket poise and timing. He completed 74% of his passes and was second in FBS in touchdown passes. Sanders had some bad habits he needs to clean up, such as throwing late over the middle and holding on the ball too long. This will eventually determine his NFL success, but his accuracy and ability to make off-platform plays from different arm angles should get him drafted early in the first round. QB2, QB2, QB2. Now, that's all good and dandy, but we know how things shook out and how things shake out. So let's hear what the Titans interim head coach, Mike McCoy, had to say about Shedeur Sanders in his press conference.
Well, a very talented player, and it's like a lot of the other young players, there's going to be the good and the bad. And, I think the one thing you've seen him do is when he gets outside the pocket, the explosive plays that he can make. So that's a tribute to him, to always knowing where everybody is on the field, and when he gets out of the pocket, making plays. But he's done a nice job. I think only, each week as a young player, you get better the more experience you get.
Good to hear that. Love to hear that from Mr. Mike McCoy. And obviously, if you've been keeping up with my Cam Ward videos, you would know that Cam Ward has only gone up in efficiency and multiple different stats. He's been turning the ball over less since Brian Callahan has gotten fired and Mike McCoy has taken over. Now, this is what Shedeur had to say about his guy Cam Ward. And they asked him, is there any extra juice going against your guy Cam Ward? Let's hear it.
I think it's not nothing extra, within myself that I'm thinking, just playing against another opponent. It's another week. It's a lot of great quarterbacks, week by week that we play against. So I wouldn't say this adds anything.
Y'all going crazy. So, that was, he's trying to keep even keel. He's got a lot going on. He's got some serious things happening. And, I can't leave a day covering the Titans without going to a little bit of Cam Ward propaganda. Again, y'all know I actually watch football. I watch the games. Cam Ward does nasty things like that. Sometimes it was a good throw, not so great on the route running there. But in all, I think some of these things started to overcome and become more of a competition. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That I did not know it was that loud. Everything kind of started back here. Obviously, this is 2023. you know, when they met at Wazoo, and this is when they started training with the same select QB. That's their same quarterback coach, doing what they need to do, putting the reps in. And you know, there was this this idea of there being a beef, right? And it kept being like, hey, is this like a real deal beef? Are they really going at each other? And then you see stuff like this, and this is what Cam Ward had to say as he got drafted to Mr. Will Compton and Taylor Lewan.
Who's the best quarterback in this draft that's not you?
Shedeur Sanders. I love it.
Hey, Shedeur is saying. So I want it to always never get misunderstood. There is no beef between Cam Ward and Shedeur, and it never should be that way. It should never be presented that way. These are two young men who are both living out their dreams, and actually, I think Cam Ward says it way better than I can.
So before your final year at Miami, there's a lot of conversations revolved around Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, I'm assuming you guys have a great relationship. Some of the clips you've seen and stuff like that. What is it like for you to have like this rivalry with Shedeur?
I don't have a rivalry with him. That's my boy. So at the end of the day, this whole process, we thought me and him were going to be 1 and 2 the whole time. Whether he's 1, I'm 2, whether I'm 1, he's 2. And so that's just always been, you know, our mindset. It didn't go that way. I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks in the draft as well, even throughout college. A lot of stuff out there on him ain't really, you know, the truth, just because they spin it different ways, like they spin stuff about me different ways. But I mean, when he gets his chance, become a starter, I know he's gonna make the most of it, and you know, I'm ready to get back to work with him. You know, after the season, you know, talk some more stuff to him, you know, say some crazy stuff. I mean, we just gonna keep on pushing each other.
I mean, you love to see that, right? And, you know, it goes both ways because, you know, this is where Shedeur Sanders was thinking. And this was, I want y'all to remember, this was the same week that all the nasty things were starting to come out with Shedeur. It really felt like people, I guess, weren't watching the media availability he had because he was saying interesting things like this, right?
It's cool that we close because if we wasn't, then the media would definitely try to pin us against each other. And a lot of stuff we just be saying, even in the viral clip stuff, we genuinely like play around crazy. We definitely play around crazy, and that's just the relationship, you know. So it's good that we have a relationship because a lot of people try to take things and put it out of context and anything, and it's just like, it's childish.
If you don't go number 1, are you the type that holds a grudge forever?
Why would I be mad?
That's what I like.
Nah, you gotta understand. I think about it like this. These are good problems to have.
I completely agree.
You could be in a way worse situation, you know. So being number 1, that don't really matter to me at the end of the day.
I like that.
That don't matter to me because I could go number 1, but it may not be a fit.
Right.
You know, or I could go number 2 and it be a fit. Or I could go number 3 and it be a fit. You know, so it's all about fit. It don't matter. Either any situation you're going into is not going to be the best situation.
Yeah.
So the numbers of it don't really matter. I ain't caught up on that.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I'm thankful that the other prospects that's going 1, 2, or 3 that I believe, you know, we're all cool.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing about it. And it's just like we'll be able to sit there and talk. Hey, you talk to this team? And he was like, nah. I said, nah, that's crazy. I ain't talking to them either. You know, so it's like, it's crazy like that, and it's fun like that we're able to be.
You know, so, you know, very, very dope to see that. Dope look at that. And, of course, I think this is, you know, one of the more iconic
I'm not trying to
videos
confuse.
coming at them training. But, look, in all reality, you know, you've got the Browns with a high-tier, high-octane defense that's going to come and attack Cam Ward. Cam Ward is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL as I speak right now. And Shedeur Sanders also has some growing pains as a big Shedeur Sanders guy, as a big Cam Ward guy. What you see from both of them are the flashes of a rookie quarterback. And like I said, I wanted to save this for, you know, this bigger idea, this bigger video I have. But I think it's so great because, you know, both of these quarterbacks share a great parallel, right? It's impossible to compare someone in Cam Ward that was supposed to be the guy since he came in, right? I don't know if y'all remember, but in the offseason, Will Levis actually got hurt. So it didn't even there wasn't even like a weird quarterback battle. It was nothing. He didn't have to compete with nobody. It was Cam Ward the entire time, and he went in there and do that. And I'm not going to here to say make excuses for one or the other, but I'm going to tell you the reality of the situation. One that was being molded in that way and started for the entire season, right? Compared to someone making his legitimately third start. And I'm not going to talk about reps or whatever. We don't got to talk about that. because apparently that don't matter in football. But what we will talk about is completely two different scenarios, right? You're talking about the Browns with an elite defense as well. And I think the biggest thing and the biggest idea that I was trying to ask and try to get across is like, I think about the Peyton Mannings, right? And that's, Peyton Manning was Peyton Manning in college, right? So everyone's not going to be Peyton Manning just because they have a bad year, right? But I think about the electrifying rookie years. C.J. Stroud, everybody's calling him a bust, even though that's my guy. I think he's going to be all right. RG3s of the world, the Andrew Lucks of the world, the what's it called? Joey Burrow. We got the jury's out if he don't keep getting injured, right? Like, and I say all that to say, there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks who shine the brightest, but they flash out. You know what I'm saying? And then you talk about someone like a Drake May that was looked at and struggled for his first year. You talk about somebody, again, Peyton Manning, who struggled for his first year. Or the other option is someone like Patrick Mahomes, who never had to play for his first few years. Brock Purdy, who was a backup and got shielded in certain ways, right? You have Aaron Rodgers, who was backed up. Tom Brady was a backup and had that process and got to sit for a little bit. What I'm trying to say is that we put so much expectations on these rookie quarterbacks, and whenever they do actually put up these crazy numbers, Jaden Daniels, right? What happens to them a few seasons after? What happens to them? They're a flash in the pan and they can't go anywhere. I really hope that Cam Ward and Shedeur take the time that they have. They keep maturing, they keep growing, and they keep developing, because I think we've seen with the Sam Darnolds, with the Geno Smith. Geno Smith's I know Geno Smith's he's a bad example. What I'm trying to say is that we've seen that the quarterback world, it has a lot longer life, even if it's a backup or being the main guy. And you'll get the better idea of that when I make the long form of it. But I just think that these two young men shouldn't be pitted against each other. They shouldn't be compared against each other. The journeys are a little different, even though they've been walking with each other for a while. So I think it's gonna be very special to see them face off against each other. But people they gonna come to their conclusion no matter what, man. They gonna talk real spicy, man. So it's either vindicating Cam Ward being the number one guy, or it's gonna vindicate Shedeur being that guy. But we're gonna see. I think it's just gonna be fun regardless. So if y'all enjoy videos like this, like the video. Just like if you don't, subscribe, like football content. We'll see you next time. Peace.